Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about Minneapolis, Minnesota. This, of course, is the site and the place where that arrest went wrong a few weeks back. And now it's also the place where protests started and spread from and all over the country. Minneapolis was ground zero for this recent incident, and it has some new developments going on this week too. Recently, there's been a push to defund law enforcement there. Yes, they want to end the police department completely, and I'm not really sure how that works, actually. I mean, it sounds a little extreme to me, but if that's what their city wants to do, if that's what those people want to vote for, by all means, defund the police, get rid of all law enforcement, and I don't know, I guess they'll defend themselves. I'm guessing they're going to have to get their own sorts of defense set up, some kind of items to help them defend themselves, or neighborhood watch, or whatever it may be. That's the goal in Minneapolis right now, and that's a lot to say because it's starting to spread too. Like, Minneapolis is ground zero for a lot of this stuff, and if this happens there, it could spread to other places. So this is something to look out for, to check out and follow up on, and that's why we're going to cover this story right now. It starts with the mayor. We're going to go with a story where Mayor Jacob Frey kind of got rebuked and booed out of a crowd recently because he wouldn't defund the police. Here's an article about that. It says, for Mayor Jacob Frey of Minneapolis, a stinging rebuke. A sea of protesters yelled, "Go home, Jacob, go home," and "Shame, shame," when he would not on the spot commit to abolishing the police department. So this is the scene and what's been going on over the weekend. It's pretty extreme. Like, they were yelling at him in this big crowd. You can see this picture here. I'm not sure if there's video, but it was big.
Jacob Frey, we have a yes or no question for you. Yes or no, will you commit to defunding Minneapolis Police Department? What did I say? We don't want no more police. Is that clear? We don't want people with guns toting around in our community, shooting us down. You have an answer? It is a yes or a no.
Okay, so clearly the city is against the police. They want no protection. They want no defense. I guess they're going to defend themselves or something. So that's, again, they're right. If they want to vote for that, I strongly disagree, of course. I prefer to have police protecting us. I like armed guards. I like all kinds of security, whatever it takes to keep my city safe. I'm behind that. I have nothing against the cops, by the way. I know I haven't gotten to say that yet today, but I've said it over and over on this channel. Most people can understand. I don't blame the cops for this. There was a few bad cops that caused a bad incident. That, of course, is not being denied by anyone, but to go after all the cops in all the world after that is extreme and insane. I mean, it's very, like, spiteful and, like, just emotional. It doesn't make sense. It's like, if, for example, if you had your first love of your life and they happened to be a banker and they broke your heart and everything happened to you so bad, they stole from you on their way out, and it just made you hate bankers forever. And all bankers, like, you won't even go to a bank anymore. You put your money in a bank, you keep it in a safe in your house. You just take that to the extreme, and that's what I see going on here with the police, with cops. Like, one or two bad cops happened to have this bad incident. There was 4 involved in this specific one, so they're probably all going to be charged and convicted. I'm sure something bad will happen to them. I know that they're already arrested and justice is being served. It takes some time, but regardless, to fan that out to all the police, to say everyone's racist and everyone has brutality charges and all that stuff, it really is extreme and kind of, like, offensive. Like, I don't think it's racist. Like, cops aren't defined by a race, but it's, like, similar to be like, oh, if someone said all of these people of this race or this religion are bad because one person killed one person, it's like, that would not be something that would fly. But for some reason it does here. We're talking about Minneapolis. It's a very extreme, very volatile city. Here the mayor is just really outnumbered, and I'll give him credit, honestly. Like, I'm not a big fan of this guy either. He's a big liberal. I think he's a dual citizen from Canada too. Like, this is like Justin Trudeau Jr., but at the same time, he does sort of stand his ground here and say he's not going to abolish the police. Like, he denies them this request, and that's actually pretty smart. I mean, like I said, I don't like to give this guy credit. He caused a lot of these problems, and he's the one that didn't send the police in and let these riots just go crazy on their own. But still, you could give credit where credit's due.
It is a yes or a no. Will you defund the Minneapolis Police Department? All right, be quiet, y'all. Be quiet, because it's important that we actually hear this. It's important that we hear this, because if y'all don't know, he's up for re-election next year. If y'all don't know, he's up for re-election next year.
Yeah, I don't think that re-election is going to go well for him. Anyway, I don't know. It's just, I think at this point, like, even these people, like, he's done everything to support this side too, besides this one request, but it's never enough. We've seen that before. We've covered videos before where they talk about, oh, your people aren't speaking out enough. Like, we want more coverage. You know, they want to take it to the most extreme, and they just never let it go. And this guy is definitely not going to get reelected, and I don't think anyone's going to miss him. But this idea, it's so absurd. I can't believe they're really going through with that. Like, I think it actually might be happening too, because we have more stories, like more developments on this. We're going to go ahead and move forward to the next one, because next we've got another member of the Minneapolis government, and they're talking about it on CNN. And this tweet has the info. Tim Young says, here's the absolute insanity behind defund the police. CNN anchor says, what if in the middle of the night my home is broken into? Who do I call? Lisa Bender says, yes, I hear that, and I know that comes from a place of privilege. Okay, just totally nonsensical. Doesn't even address the actual issue. I believe this is the CNN reporter. This is Minneapolis congressperson, or I think they're like the president of the city council or something, some kind of government official that's kind of going full-blown defund the police, and also going full-blown like anti-white. Like, this kind of privilege claim is related to white privilege, and saying that to white people is just basically like a racist slur against them. You're saying, oh, you have this privilege, you have a preference, you got to where you are, you're happy because things aren't fair, like you cheated someone or you hurt someone. It's a very strong implication, and the fact that these guys kind of just go through with it and follow it so willy-nilly, so easily, it's just really hard to watch. So with that said, let's check out this video and see how it goes.
Do you understand that the word dismantle or police free also makes some people nervous? For instance, what if in the middle of the night my home is broken into? Who do I call?
Yes, I mean, I hear that loud and clear from a lot of my neighbors. And I know, and myself too, and I know that that comes from a place of privilege, because for those of
comes from a place of privilege. So they're really not addressing the question. There's a few more seconds on this clip we'll get to, but I mean, what do you do without the police? I don't even get it. Like, it just seems like I don't know, there's no sense to it. They don't have any plans to replace them with some other institution or group or whatever. Are they going to start having security guards? It's like whatever else they do is just another form of the police, by the way. Like, yeah, they're going to defund what's now called the police department, but then they're just going to have to create a new one. I mean, sure, I guess it'll just operate differently. It'll be totally different people or whatever. I don't know how that's all going to work, but basically there's no plan. There's no rationale here. There's no real world solution. Like, defunding the police is just an emotional power grab. And there's people kind of taking advantage of this high volatile situation. And that's why she just mentions privilege right away, because she's just like, I don't know, I got to defund the police because I'm white and everyone says I'm racist, and she's buying into it.
Those of us for whom the system is working, I think we need to step back and imagine what it would feel like to already live in that reality where calling the police may mean more harm is done.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Some people, according to this, some people live in a reality where if you call the police, more harm is done. And this is obviously talking about the minorities, mostly black people. If they call the cops, they get into more trouble and the cops could hurt them. It's the implication. I don't buy it. I'm not believing that, like, unless they cause something else to happen. Like, if you call the cops and you have a bunch of drugs at your house, or you have a bunch of crimes being committed by you, you know, you have stolen property, whatever, like, yeah, you're going to get in trouble. But if you just call the cops and you're not doing anything wrong, like, there's nothing going to happen to you. If you just kind of go along with their orders, like, listen, hey, oh, they tell you to sit down, they tell you to not resist arrest, they might have to cuff you or something, like, whatever happens, as long as you're calm and listening, like, there's not going to be anything that's going to happen to you. Like, let's not pretend these people that went down were doing this. They weren't following the rules. They don't deserve to be hurt or die. That's not the point. The point is, like, these guys were resisting arrest. They were like flailing and fighting back with the cops and talking trash and, reaching for stuff, not following orders. Like, there's a process to this. These people didn't just get slain in like vain. There was no preface. There was stuff going on. There's background to these stories. And it's not justification, but we're talking about if the police actually work. And I say, hell yeah, they like work for a lot of situations. They're not perfect either. I could see there could be lots of reform. Like, there could be a lot they could do better. We could work on their training, their de-escalation. We could talk about, different methods and getting things done more efficiently and all kinds of things like that. Like, I'm for that discussion, but to just abolish them is ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is, you go back to this explanation she gives. She's like, well, some people call the police and they don't get help. So why don't they just not call the police? I mean, it just seems simple to me. I don't get it. Like, don't call the police if you don't want them to come. Opt out of the program. If you want to opt out, go ahead. You don't have to have the police coming to you. You don't call them. But if other people want to call them and keep themselves safe, like, that should be a right for them too. Why do we have to give everyone this kind of remove the cops from everyone? It's just really insane. It's like saying, hey, one time a firefighter came over to my house and he made the fire worse, so no one else should be able to call firefighters in this city anymore. It's absurd. I mean, it's like, let everyone else take a chance at the fire department. Like, we don't defund them just because one caused a death maybe, or ruined a building, made it worse with the fire or something. Like, that doesn't make sense, and neither does this police department thing make sense. And this whole story is getting really out of hand. It just keeps going and going too. Like, Minneapolis, I think, in a lot of ways is loving this attention. We know liberals love that kind of attention, and they love getting the spotlight. CNN here is kind of getting into it, fanning the flames, getting them on board. Albeit this chick on the left, the blonde, is definitely asking a legitimate question. I think she's being a little bit fair. Like, she realizes, what if something happens? Like, who are you going to call? And then this girl responds with that response, like we were saying. It's just a non-response. It's like, oh, well, what you got to think about when other people call the police and they're scared of them. It's like, well, then don't call them. That about wraps things up. I think you guys get the point. Good stuff today. I hope you enjoyed the stories, and make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. I'll be checking them out, looking for video ideas and future prefaces and stuff for this channel. And also, make sure you hit the like button, get us supported, and get us shared. And until next time, you guys have a great day. Let me just take a quick moment to talk to you about my second channel. I recently relaunched and revamped No Bullshit 2, and it's now called NoBS News. I'm going to be doing new videos on there almost every day on weekdays, and then weekends we're going to be doing more live streams. So make sure you guys check out that second channel. There's already, like, say 10 or 12 more videos on there for you to check out right now. So if you want more content, search NoBS News on YouTube or click the link below this video.